What's up guys, Easton Fothergill here. I got the striking crew with me today. We're filming a next level spotlight series. We're on the Coosa River today. I'm gonna show you guys how to break down a lake using the forward facing sonar. But yeah, I'm gonna go through the tactics, mechanics, and strategy today and just show you guys how I do it. So I'm gonna start by showing you guys the tactics of how to break down a lake. So the first thing I do when I get to a lake is I'll sit behind my side imaging units here and I'll really look around, and I'm just looking for active areas. I'm looking for bait, and I'm also looking for birds on the water. I just want somewhere that's active. And then once I find somewhere that I feel really good about, there's a lot going on, that's when I'll get up and I'll use my forward-facing sonar to really attack the fishery, and that's when I'll cover a bunch of water with the live scope and look for fish. So now the mechanics on how to catch the fish. So we'll say I found some fish on the forward-facing sonar. Here's a couple setups that I use to actually catch the fish. I have two minnows and then a pinger minnow also. My minnows are just a baby Z2. I have one on a 1/4 ounce head and one on a 3/8 ounce head, and that just depends on the depth that the fish are actually in. Obviously I'll throw the lighter head if they're really high up, and I'll throw the heavier head if they're pretty deep. But I like to just keep these setups ready to go, just for anything I see on the live scope. I got something ready to go to throw at them. In terms of the rod, this is a Lew's Elite 7-foot medium. This is my favorite minnow rod of all time. I have like 8 of them in here. I'm obsessed with this rod. It's a Lew's custom light reel, 300 size, and 8-pound line to a 12-pound leader. So that's just a brief rundown of my setups, but yeah, it all varies on how deep the fish are on my forward-facing sonar in terms of what bait I throw at them. So now the strategy. Right now it's early November, the temps are starting to cool down, and this time of year is when those fish really start eating the shad and really start feeding up in the winter. And obviously when that happens, that's when the live scope bite really kicks into gear. They get out in the middle of these channels, these creek channels, and they really all they do all winter long is attack shad. So obviously when that happens, the live scope bite is game on. So this time of year, from now all the way until about February, that pre-spawn stage is when that live scope bite is really going hard. So. Okay, so right now we're trolling down just a super steep break here, and there's some fish cruising down this break. You can see I have one here at 35 and also 80. And the name of the game for this is just covering water and basically putting your bait in front of as many fish as possible. Like, for example, I don't think this one's gonna bite. And with these fish, I give them one toss, and if they don't bite, I just move on. I've learned that if you spend too much time on one fish, you're just basically wasting time, because most of the time they'll hit right away if they are going to hit. So, but that's just a prime example. It was a nice fish, threw at it, it checked it out, and it just moved on. So really can't get too personal with every fish that you see. It's just you'll burn time before you know them at doing that. So I was just cruising down this super steep break here and came across a big giant bait ball here that's actually got some fish in it. You can see here at 40 feet, there's a school of fish chasing this bait ball here. And when you find this, it's all about timing. A lot of times they'll disappear into the bait, and I like to sit here and just watch them until they either get on top of the bait ball or they'll get on the side of it. And that's the best time, I think, to target them. Just because you can waste a lot of time, throwing in there, and you don't even know where exactly they're sitting. So. Like right here, they're on top of the bait ball. If I can make a good shot, this is the perfect time to get them to go. There we go. But like I said before, it's all about covering water. And then, like I said earlier, I started on the side imaging units back there. I found a bunch of bait, and it's all about finding concentrations like, steep breaks, mouth of ditches, that sort of thing. Found one that's had some bait around it and got on the forward facing here, started covering water, and found a bait ball that had a few, so let's go find some more. As you can see on the scope here, we found a giant bait ball. The bait's sitting about 25 feet, and this one was actually way up on top. It's a pretty good spot here. But my bait of choice today has been a Stray King Baby Z2, just on a 1/4 ounce head, and it's just, like I said before, covering water, getting around the bait. But the nice thing about the Z2 is it's got that elastic material, and look at that, that's probably my 6th fish today, and the bait's still perfectly on the jig head. So, but that's a pretty solid spot. and there's a lot more out here with them. This bait ball is huge. It's like, when I first saw it, it was like 80 feet long by like, 30 feet high. So who knows how many fish are sitting in that bait ball. Here we go, here we go. Got him. So where we're at here, we're actually in the mouth of a pocket. And like I said before, what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to find little pinch points that might congregate bait. And obviously when there's bait, there's gonna be big spots like this one. That's a good one there. But yeah, I got out here and I looked around with the side imaging, and little pinch points like this, the mouth of pockets, steep breaks, anything that might, congregate the bait, and good spots like that. It's all about being around the bait though, and once you're around the bait, you just put your forward-facing sonar down and just start covering water, and the predators won't be too far away from the bait. So there you go. And that's how I break down a lake using the forward-facing sonar in the fall or winter time period. You can catch this video and all other spotlight videos on the Kings of Bass YouTube channel.